money, regardless of who you are, I guarantee you want more of it. And if you say you don't, you're probably lying. And that's going to be the focus of this week's episode of The Higher Self. And the reason why this topic is coming to me right now is because we're essentially getting to the end of Q1 of 2025. And so by now, you can kind of get an idea as to the amount of money you're going to make for the year simply by multiplying the results of the first 3 months times 4. Every business does this. As a matter of fact, if you're an individual, you are in the business of you. So you need to start understanding and getting an idea of how much money you're actually on track to earn, keep, invest in 2025. And yet, at the same time, you might start to notice that as you look at maybe 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, you might start to notice a trend that you're not happy with, a trend that you're ready to break out of. And that's what I want to do today. I want to offer you a couple of points on how to change your life financially forever. So first things first, let's state the obvious. And I'm going to state this obvious because for a lot of people, you see yourself as less than other people because of the energy of comparison. And so sometimes you see yourself as less than because of the color of your skin, because of the neighborhood that you live in, because of the country that you're in, because of your current life circumstance, right? And I'm going to tell you here, and I'll tell you this forever, as long as you determine your future based off of your current life circumstances, you will never have the future that you actually want to live in life. You have to understand this. You have to get this through your head, and you have to open your heart to receiving the truth of it. And the reason why this is so important, because the current circumstances where you are today has all of the impact or zero impact on your future. The deciding factor on that is you. Whatever you decide is true is true. And so you see, most of us have grown up in a life or around people, around family members that constantly tell us that the president, the government, the country we're in, the neighborhood that we live in, the color of our skin, our economic class, what we did in school, what we've accomplished, that all of those things are stopping you from making more money. And I'm going to say they're right. I'm going to say that they're right if you choose to make them right, if you choose to allow them to be right. And the sad truth is that there's too many human beings, wonderful, creative, beautiful human beings that are alive on this planet right now that are simply not accomplishing their financial goals because they've bought into the story of someone else. And they've bought into living life from the frequency of someone else. Take a wild guess which frequency this is. Is it fear or is it love? It's fear. And so when you live life from the perspective that, again, the president, the government, the city that you live in, the country that you're born in or raised in, your religious beliefs, the color of your skin, your economic class, your name, your gender, whatever the fuck you're buying into, quite frankly, that you think is stopping you from making money, it is a sign. It is a clue that you unknowingly are 100% living from the frequency of fear, frequency of limitation, the frequency of being stopped, the frequency of powerlessness. Because essentially what you're saying is that all of these things have the power to determine the outcome of your life. And I guarantee you that if you think they have the power to determine the outcome of your financial life, they also have the power to determine the outcome of your relationship life. And they also have the power to determine the outcome of your physical life, your health. Because energy is energy. So many of us think that by going to a motivational seminar, we're going to make more money. Guys, it's not. Your actions will never change until the energy within you changes. That's the difference that makes the difference. And so I'm going to state the obvious. Number one, I'm Hispanic. Number two, I'm a so-called minority. Number three, I was born in the ghetto. Number four, my family was on welfare. Number five, my mom was a single mom. Number 6, my parents divorced. Number 7, my dad wasn't around, and by the age of 13. Number 8, I became the man of the household. Number 9, I grew up in the absolute crime-ridden, drug-infested neighborhood. And number 10, I still became successful financially. How successful? Have I made $1 million a year? Yes, since I was 27. Have I made $10 million a year? Yes. Have I made 40 million? Yes. The number is irrelevant. I believe in my heart and soul that I'm here speaking to you today, looking the way that I look, to challenge and confront all of the bullshit that you've been buying into your entire life. Because straight up, if I can do it, you could do it too. And so the first thing you have to understand is that there is zero stopping you from earning the money that you want to earn this year, next year, this lifetime, or the last lifetime, other than the beliefs, thoughts, and feelings that you have about yourself and about life. You heal those, you heal everything. Number 2, now that we're aware of that, I'm going to talk to you about some of the basics that you need to change your financial life forever. Once you get over this stuff, and I'm going to tell you at the end of this class, how a process that I'm going to lead you to get you over that. But once you get over this stuff, then you need a couple of things in your favor, and you need to get aligned with them. All right. And I want you to grab a pen and a piece of paper. Number 1 is you need a vision. Oh, Danny, but what do I have to do? Like, what do I have to do? I'm telling you what to do. You need a new vision for your life. You see, half of the problem in your life right now is that you are playing a movie in your head, and that movie is already determining and telling you the end of the movie and the end of the story. And if that movie isn't big and beautiful and incredible and sexy and fulfilling and exciting, then guess what? You're never going to try anything. You're never going to do anything, because why should you if the movie that is playing in your head is a negative one? So the first thing you have to do is decide what your vision is. What do you want for your life? How do you want to live your life? Do you want to be limited or limitless? Do you want to be free, or do you want to live in a cage? This is real talk. And yes, money matters, because money is the energy that allows you to live in a stress-free life in your health and a stress-free life in your finances. How many people do you know that are divorced or broken up because they had money issues? And it really wasn't that they had money issues. It's that they had energy issues that manifested in money, that manifested in the breakup, that probably manifested in poor health as well, by the way. So number 1, you have to have a vision for your life. Number 2, I want you to start small. It's got to be small, achievable, and attainable. Okay. So for me, it was, I'm going to buy my mom a house by the time I'm 21 years old. Yes, someday I wanted to make millions of dollars. Yeah. Someday I wanted to only fly first class, and someday I wanted to be able to drive whatever car I wanted. Yeah. And someday I wanted to live in a nice house. Yes. And yes, absolutely. But you got to start small. And here's why. Because sometimes what happens is you decide to live in someday so that your ego could never believe that someday could actually become a reality. It's a trick that the ego uses. It keeps you stuck. I like to call it la la land. You're stuck in la la land. So if you have a goal to someday make $1 million a year, I got to ask you a question. Have you ever made 75 grand? No. Okay, start there. Start there and go after it with every fiber of your being. Start there and make a plan. Start there and just start. You know what I'm going to tell you to do? Start programming your own brain. I make $75,000 a year or more. I make $75,000 a year or more. I make $75,000 per year or more. As a matter of fact, I want you to write that statement down 25 times a day. You can do it in a notebook. You can do it in a journal. It will have miraculous impact on your life. morelglobal.com/shop. We have what we call our $1 million journal there, and it gives you spaces to write and to envision for 365 days a year. So you got to have a vision, number 1. Number two, once you have the vision, this is important, you got to have the right vehicle. You got to have the right vehicle. And what do I mean by that? Is that you got to be on the right bus. Listen, there's buses with a bunch of people that are going nowhere, and they're perfectly okay with going nowhere. And there's buses with people that are going to the promised land, right? The whole bus is filled with people that want a better life, right? Well, I want you to think about it this way. Your vehicle is the job, the career, the profession that you use and you choose to fulfill the vision that you have financially. So you have to ask yourself a very scary question. Here we go. This is where courage comes into place. You have to ask yourself a very scary question. Does your vehicle give you the bandwidth? Does it give you the space? Does it give you the trajectory to reach your financial goals? And listen, this is where you start making more money, because money is energy. So my challenge to you is, do you have the courage to step into the energy of courage and ask yourself the tough, scary questions that most people are afraid to ask themselves? And maybe you have been afraid to ask yourself your entire life because you already know the damn answer. Do you have courage? Because if your vehicle is the wrong vehicle, I got to ask you a question. What are you doing in the wrong vehicle? One of the biggest parts of awakening is realizing that your body, your vessel, and how you treat it affects everything else in your life. In today's world, our food supply is depleted and our soil is stripped of the vital nutrients that our bodies need to thrive. No matter how clean you eat, it's nearly impossible to get everything that your body requires for optimal health. And that's why Kono has truly changed my life, because their supplements are designed to fill those gaps. They use holistic ingredients sourced from regenerative agriculture, which restores the soil while producing nutrient-dense ingredients to help your body heal and thrive. My two favorite products right now are the Full Body Hydrate, which has electrolytes and ocean-based trace minerals for hydration. And they also make a vanilla beef protein powder that's dairy-free, easy to digest, and made from grass-fed bone broth. Guys, this thing tastes incredible. If you're serious about awakening, start by giving your body what it truly needs to thrive. Visit kononutrition.com and use the code DANNY for 25% off your first subscription order or 10% off any regular purchase order. Don't get me started on the next question. Look at the correlation. If your partner's the wrong partner, I got to ask you, what are you doing with the wrong partner? Do you see how it's all correlated? If the food is the wrong food you're eating, I got to ask you, what are you doing accepting the wrong food that you're eating? Do you see the correlation? It is all energy. That is because the outside world is a reflection of your inside world. So you got to understand and ask yourself, am I in the right vehicle? Number three, you need skills. Skills. Listen, this is a skill, right? The skill of being able to, my camera guy comes in here, my buddy Casper, he turns on the camera, turns on the microphone, he closes the door and he goes, go get him. Because he knows I have the skill to do this, right? If I am going to have 600, 800, 8,000 people at an Awaken for 3 days, I have the skill to transform their lives. And I don't need notes. Why? Because I did it for myself. You see that? So you got to ask yourself and be honest with yourself. What skills do you have that you can expand on? What skills will be required that you need to go get? And what skills must you harness or perfect? And then who do you have in your life to help you with these skills? Can I tell you one of the most powerful skills you could have is the skill of thinking positive thoughts. And yet you're so busy watching the news. You're so busy in the drama of Trump. You're so busy in the drama of the world. Can I tell you a little secret, guys? And listen, some of you, I can already see the YouTube comments happen. Oh, it must be nice. It must be nice to not have to worry. It's great, guys. And can I tell you why it's great? Because I decided I'm not going to live a life of worry. I decided I'm not going to give my energy to anything that is outside of me. I decided that I'm not going to give my energy to anything that I can't control. We're approaching 2 million followers on Instagram. Not everybody likes what we post. I'm not there fighting with people and arguing and checking them and trying to make them wrong. I'm not there doing that. I see your guys' comments on YouTube. Oh my God, Danny doesn't talk too much and all that. I can't do anything. I mean, I could say, do you have a podcast? I could say, do you interview anybody? I could say, then shut the fuck up. I could say that. I could, right? But I don't. That was my ego, by the way. The question I'm asking you is, what are the skills that you are going to need in order to reach your financial goals? And then just be honest. Do you have them or not? If you can be honest with it, then you can ask yourself, okay, what do I have to do to go get these skills? Who do I have to pay? Who do I have to hire? Here's another tip, guys. When you want to change your life financially, you will stop at nothing to change your life financially. Nothing. You'll invest in whatever. When you're living in fear, you will stop at everything to change your life financially. Everything stops you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to teach you something that will change your life forever. If you want to start making more money, stop asking the question, how much does it cost? When you ask the question, how much does it cost? It's like you are sending a signal out into the universe that says, my life, the actions that I take is determined solely based off of the cost of things, which means that if something costs too much based off of my current life circumstances, I will not allow myself to participate in it, which is also sending a signal to the universe that says, universe, don't send me more money because I am perfectly fine with accepting things based off of my perception of what they cost or don't cost. Why would the universe send you more money? Why would the universe bless you with more if you don't have the courage to go past this story that has been ruminating in your head your entire life? How much does it cost? This is why you're stuck financially. Because you make all of your decisions in life not based off of your worth, not based off of your value, not based off of what you actually want in life. You do it based off of cost. And if something costs too much, it's just an outward expression of how valuable you see yourself and how deserving you see yourself. The truth is, nothing is too expensive. Everything is simply an opportunity to expand yourself to meet the very thing that you think is too expensive. Think about that. Vision, vehicle, skills. The next one is perseverance. Do you have the ability to persevere in spite of the obstacles that are going to come up? Do you have the ability to persevere in spite of the obstacles that your soul has actually attracted into your life's journey to help you level up? You see, when you live in fear, what happens is that an obstacle shows up and it stops you right then and there. You go, oh my God, an obstacle. Somebody stole from me. Somebody quit on me. Somebody cheated on me. Somebody said no to me, right? When you want to live a better life, you go, wow, an obstacle came up. What's the lesson in this obstacle? An obstacle came up. Oh my God, this is exciting. I get to find my way around this obstacle. I get to grow. I get to expand so that I could move around the obstacle. And the more that I learn to get around obstacles today, the more that I learn to get comfortable with the obstacles that are going to come in the future. That's how you get wealthy people. Wealthy people are just more comfortable with obstacles. They just move around them like nothing. And when did they learn that? They learned to not allow the small obstacles to get in their way back when they were first getting started. What do broke people do? They stop at every obstacle. I hope you're understanding this. And by the way, if you think about it, this is very, very important. Vision, vehicle, skills, perseverance. Do you realize that all four of these things you can have? I mean, I know people whose vehicle is lawn mowing. I know people whose vehicles is creating widgets. I know people whose vehicles is restaurants and making food. And, there's so many different ways to get wealthy and free out there in the world. But you're never going to see them, or you're never going to get on the right vehicles if you don't see yourself as someone worthy of getting on the right vehicle. That's the whole game. You're the one creating it all. So once you have those intact, right, your vision, your vehicle, your skills, and your perseverance, then there's only two things left. The first one is called comparison. This is the thing that causes human beings to get stuck, is you're constantly comparing yourself with everything, constantly comparing yourself with the future, constantly comparing yourself to the past, constantly comparing yourself to other people. And when you compare yourself, what you're actually doing is you're judging yourself. And when you judge yourself, what you're actually doing is you're actually showing yourself that you don't love, value, and appreciate yourself for who you are and where you are right now. And you can't ever have an abundant life in the energy of judgment, because judgment will always find a way to look for and search for what is wrong in your life. Gratefulness is different. Where judgment comes from fear and darkness, gratefulness comes from love and light. Because gratefulness finds something to be grateful for, even when for most people, it looks like there's nothing available. So can you stop comparing yourself to others? Can you stop comparing yourself to where you want to be someday? Can you stop comparing yourself to what happened in the past and get centered and grounded on the present moment and be grateful for this beautiful thing that you get to live called life? Because if you can, I can promise you your life will change forever just in that. And last but not least is confidence. Confidence. Can you find the confidence within yourself to move past limitations, to move past doubt, to move past worry? Heck, I'm just going to say it. To start the process of moving past the frequency of fear and into the frequency of love. Can you find the confidence within yourself to believe in yourself, to push past whatever normally holds you back? Can you feel what I'm telling you in this episode? Can you put a finger on it? There's an energy behind it, yeah? And ask yourself the question, if you would allow this energy to enter your life, would you not naturally, as a byproduct of it, make more money? The answer is 100% yes. Think about that. For those of you that want to take things a little bit deeper, I made a class followed by a powerful meditation called the More Money Meditation. It's inside of Awaken You right now. You can access it today by going to dannymorel.com/awaken and the letter U. I think it's $9. It used to be $900. We dropped the price to make it affordable for absolutely everybody. There's a magic question. Is $9 too costly for you? Is $9 going to stop you? Or could $9 be the doorway or the gateway to 900, 9,000, 900,000, and 9 million? Think about it. Sending you guys my love, and we'll see you next week on another episode of The Higher Self.